Hi, um, in this video we're going to discuss uh, I think that is a big skill we should have. It's related with science, but we should have this skill because we can see it every day in the news, in newspapers, and we can see it everywhere. For example, when you see statistics, or when you want to buy something, or in every place we're checking graphs everywhere, okay, or we're checking data. So sometimes, for example, in the news you can see data, and by using this data, uh, journalists or people make conclusions, and it's up to you to believe them or to understand how or what is the graphs are telling you. So this is why in this video we're going to discuss what are the types of trends. Okay, let me tell you that this is going to be very basic. Okay, very basic, cause essentially we can make it more complicated, but this is the basic idea of the type of trends. Okay, so to understand trends, the first thing you need to know is what is a trend. Okay, so what do you think is a trend? I'll give you a little time for you to think what is a trend for you. Okay, what is a trend? So look at, for me, a trend is when you have some data, the data is telling you where is going, okay, or what is the next step, or what is the pattern. Okay, so this is the trend. So the trend is when you have the data, like the pattern of the data, or where is going. Okay, so this is what is a trend. Now we're going to see some graphs, and according to the graphs we're going to determine what are the type of trends. Okay, and then you will see the basic skills of trends. Obviously, every time you see a graph, it's important for you to understand how to get the trend of the graph. For example, for people that make trading, these people understand very good how to get trends. So let's see the examples, the basic examples of trends. And this is the trend number 1. Okay, I hope you can see the trend number 1. So we have some data here. We have some data here, and we want to know what is the trend. So as you could see, so the data, it's moving kind of a line. So we can make a line. Look at, I can like determine a line that I can call it like the trend line. Okay, maybe this line, or maybe this line. So this is calling the trend line. Trend line. In this case, you can see that the trend is linear, but not only linear, but also crosses by the origin. Okay, so it means that this trend is a directly proportional trend. Okay, so what means a directly proportional trend? A directly proportional trend is just a trend of the form y equals kx. So it means that I have a constant that multiplies by x, by the independent variable, to get the dependent variable. Okay, this is a very important trend because many times when we perform a laboratory in physics, we would like to have directly proportional trends to get conclusions. Okay, so this is the first trend we can have. If it's linear or directly proportional, we can have the slope or the gradient of the line. So for example, in this case, you can take 2 points in the graph. So for example, this point here, 90 and 50 and 0, 0, okay? And you can have the slope, that is this rise over this run. Okay, in this case, for example, the slope is going to be the constant k, that is 50 over 90. 5/9 is k. Okay? But what is the other type of trend? Okay, you can see here that in this case, the trend is kind of linear, but it's not crossing by the origin. So let me do like the graph. Okay, could be this. Could be this way. And this is a linear trend. Okay? Linear trend. So for linear trends, what we have is also a slope or a gradient, but in this case, the graph is not crossing by the origin, so we will have an intercept. So if you remember something of math, you can use the equation y equals mx plus b, and m is the slope, b is the intercept, so b will be this number here, that is kind of 25, and m will be the slope, that again is kind of the gradient, just rise over run. So take 2 points on the graph, rise or change in x, change in y, over run, change in x. Okay, and then you determine the slope. So if you want, stop the video, calculate the slope here, and write in the comments what is the slope. Okay, that's a very important exercise. And so far we have 2 types of trends: directly proportional and linear trend. Both are related with linear functions. Okay, so this is cool, this is easy, this is one of the best ways to get a trend that it's linear, but sometimes trends aren't linear, like this. The one that you can see here is not linear, right? So it's not possible to have a line. So the type of trend is kind of this form. So we said that this trend is non-linear. But look at that. The more the independent, the more that is x, the less that is y. So we can say that is non-linear, but it's an inverse relation. Actually, if the multiplication of these 2 numbers of any point here is always the same, we can say that it's inversely proportional. Okay? So if you multiply the 2 terms on the line, on the trend line, and it's the same number, we can say that it's inversely proportional. But so far, we can say that it's an inverse relation that is non-linear, because it could be linear, right? It could be a line, but it's not. Okay? And finally, let me move my face here to see the other trend. This is the last trend we're going to see today, and this is another trend that is non-linear, but in this case, you can see that the more that is the dependent, the more that is the independent. The more that is the independent, the more that is the dependent. So we said that this trend is non-linear, but direct relation. Okay? Obviously, there are many methods in which you can determine what is the type of function here. For example, here you can see that the trend is kind of a quadratic function, so we can graph x squared and y, and if it's a line, we will have a quadratic function. Okay, this is some ways to get linear the trends, but in this case, we're just checking the trends, and it's non-linear, there's no linear function, and it's direct. So to sum up, To sum up, we see 4 types of trends. The first is directly proportional. Remember, y equals kx. The second is a linear trend. So remember, linear trend is mx plus b. The third, we see non-linear trend, but that it's inverse. The more the independent, the less the dependent. And the last one we saw was non-linear, that is direct. The more the independent, the more the dependent. Okay, and these are the type of trends, the most common type of trends. Okay, there are a lot. We can have many strategies to convert trends into linear trends, but this is not something we're going to see here. We're going to see it maybe in another video. But I hope that you understand how to identify trends in graphs. Okay, so I'm waiting for your comments. I'm waiting for any question you have. I hope that this video will help you to understand trends, and when you have a laboratory practice in which you took data, you will see if you have the appropriate trend of your data. See you in the next time. Remember to follow me on my social network as my name, hugoffim. See you, goodbye, have a nice day.